physiologically?
Well, to be free means that we can embrace more things. We're not confined to something. And the gong itself sort of dissolves everything. It makes it a huge resonant field of sound. It's like being in a universal womb, you know, and we feel totally at home in this, and we feel relaxed, and we feel all-knowing, knowing that we know. You know, we're so used to trying to figure things out. What's going to happen? To worry, to be discontent, to be locked in. And yet, it's not true. This is an illusion.
It truly is.
The future is already here.
It's happening as we speak,
That's right. This is a process. When it's something is disruptive in our lives, something is causing us worry and concern, it's simply because we haven't been able to see the end result of it yet.
Right.
We don't know. And yet we do know that every good thing that we do brings fruition. The fruition, that of life. Now, in our lives, as we grow older, we develop what is called wisdom. That's another name for intuition. That we're able to look at something and not have so much invested into it. What's going to happen? Survival. When you live long enough, you develop wisdom, which is the greatest healer of all.
It's the letting go, is it not? The surrender.
The letting go and knowing that good things are going to happen.
You know, I'm thinking controls, what you're talking about, control that we all are sort of fixated on in our lives, and that keeps us in the chaos, I think, trying to control. Intuition is sort of the other side of that. It's something that we're born with, but we have to learn to activate it more, yes?
That's right. You know that if you put your mind to something in the right way, you will attract all the things necessary to manifest to it. You have to know that. Now, if you don't know that, you're going to be pushing the mountain. You're going to try to make something happen in life. You're going to create a kind of state of disease or a lack of ease within yourself. You see, but if you're really in resonance with your goal, what you want, if you're in resonance with what you're doing in life, it all happens naturally.
You know, you talk about acquiring wisdom. I wanted to ask, in your life now, I know you've been working with the gong and with all kinds of indigenous music, they could call it, for a long time, but there had to have been moments when, as a musician, you said, what's next? How am I going to pay bills? Am I right?
That's
I'm guessing. So did you let those forces come in, or how tough was it for you to come to that realization?
Everything has its time. We know that. That even though you're doing something that looks like, how are people going to relate to this? It's a limited viewpoint. What's happening is we're like shamans, we're like magicians in a way. We create an artistic situation that draws a reality unto itself. What you really envision in your life, to bring that vision into a reality, it will automatically happen. The world will be ready for it. When you're ready,
in your life,
the world is ready, yes. And so they said, well, how can you make a living playing a gong?
Some would say, yes.
Yes, but I knew, you see, it's a magical instrument. It has a tradition that even if you touch the gong, it brings abundance and good fortune into your life. It has a mystique about it. It has an aura about it. It has a magnetic attraction. So therefore, why not? If I'm playing the gong, why should I be deprived? I'm going to have that abundance.
I see what you're doing. You set up the situation. And
wisdom is you know something that somebody else doesn't know because they haven't taken that into account. They haven't seen the wheels turning in the universe. You see, the universe wants to serve you. So your intent has to be pure. And this, having a pure intent, is called spiritual will.
Spiritual will.
Yes. You spiritualize a situation. You bring life into it. You bring light into it. You activate that situation, and it by itself will draw unto you exactly what you need.
I understand. This is so pertinent and opportune for us to hear right now, and I'll tell you why in a minute. You were going to show me how to begin to use the gong for an intuitive situation, or to hopefully crystallize these kind of feelings. They call it a philosopher's stone?
That's
Is
right.
that what they call it?
That's right, because it energizes you. It causes you to have the same good fortune, the same long life, the same health that it has.
That it has.
Yes.
Isn't that wonderful? Why don't you play for me a little, and I'll tell you what one of our situations is we were talking about, because our network has been sold, as you probably had heard,
That's right.
and they're turning it into an all-news channel. So many of the staffers here, as the turbulence kind of is happening, are wondering what's next. Everybody's trying to control. I'm kind of on that other piece where I'm kind of letting it flow. I do know that there's something the universe has in mind, but it's difficult sometimes to keep to that thought. Is there a way intuition can help us with that?
That's right, there is.
Show me.
Sit.
Let's work with it, and you help me with the meditation, okay? And this will be for all of the folks who put this show on the air every day.
There's a saying, to contemplate a universal principle. All good things happen to those who use them well, okay? And alive and wellness sort of exemplifies that. And so, since you have done this, since you have made the most valuable show on television to bring new data, new information, to enliven people, to make them full and rich in wisdom and knowledge, it has to have a good result. This has to grow. It has been the world's best kept secret. You see? Now, all of a sudden, the whole world is going to know about Alive and Wellness. It is bursting out of its cocoon.
I understand.
See?
Timing is everything.
Yes.
Gong me, Don,
All right.
and I'll think on these thoughts, or talk me through whatever is a good way to do it.
It's good to have a cocoon to grow in, a farm to grow in, but there comes a time when you burst the farm, and all of a sudden, the new farm is all-inclusive. It is like a great mother's embrace. It includes everything, denies nothing. You are that embrace. You are the person who is intuiting it, and you are the audience who's receiving it. You are what you are. And we call that I am. I am. I am.
And think on that. Every time I hear that sound, literally the vibration comes through me. I'm not exaggerating. It's almost as if it's a signal to my mind that I'm going to a different place.
That's right.
That's part of what it should do, yes?
Yes, and when you're listening to the gong, let's say you have headphones on and you're lying down, you're listening to the gong, it simply wipes out all your cares and woes. It takes away everything obstructing you. The thing that stops us from really knowing the great future it's in store for us is the left brain worrying and figuring it out.
Yeah.
You see, just to have the spiritual will to know that you can just transfer over and you can be content, you see?
The right brain thinking the other
That's
hemisphere,
right.
yes?
You know something that somebody else doesn't know. You know the great good fortune that's going to come out of using things well, doing things well. Everything will come to you. If you know that, you can rest easy, you can sleep at night. You don't have to worry about
Don't have to worry. Think right brain. Think on these things. They are good ones, yeah. And we'll do many more shows together, Don. Thank you. Always good to be with you. Thank you for the wisdom. Don Conreaux, back in just a moment.
"35 years ago, I had a vision to build an eye care